in NASCAR's top series. And now he's trying to displace the same man that he knocked off of that list, Donald Thomas, to be the youngest driver ever to win a Nextel Cup race.
Would you say that Hendrick Motorsports has come back with a vengeance after the little problems they had in Fontana?
Sure would. Dick Bergman.
Well, Kyle Busch's crew chief is no old guy either. Alan Gustafson's just 29 years old. How do you account for a young kid like this with so little experience, second this deep in the race?
It just speaks volume for everybody at Hendrick Motorsports and everybody at this Kellogg Chevrolet. They work so hard. We've got such great chassis shop, engines, great race team. You know, it's just a great organization.
Imagine the future of young Kyle Busch, second this deep in the race.
And Dick, Darrell, when you look at Alan Gustafson, the trend of crew chief continues. He was an engineer last year for Hendrick Motorsports. Now he's Kyle Busch's crew chief. Seeing that more and more.
And for the last 2 laps, Kyle Busch has been quicker than race leader Jimmy Johnson, and the lead now stands at 1.4 seconds. 25 to go. So let's haul out our Fox electronic stopwatch and give you speeds at the start-finish line next time by when they come by with 24 laps to go.
Let me tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that 5 car chasing down the 48 car, coming right after him.
That time it looks like Jimmy Johnson was a little quicker than Kyle Busch in the 5.
By a couple of hundreds, that's it. You know, a 47 to a 51. So the 5 is on it. He's on a mission.
Kevin Harvick in the 29 tried to claw his way back from that pit road speeding penalty. He had the 3rd quickest time at the line.
So here are the Roush Fords, 3rd and 4th. Kurt Busch taking 3rd from Greg Biffle. Matt Kenseth back in 8th.
Whoa. Boy, Biffle sideswiped the wall that time.
Darrell, you talked about it in the pre-race earlier today. We were looking at Kyle Busch in the 5 running second. His brother, Kurt Busch, in the 97, our current champion. You mentioned it, his parents. Can you imagine how proud they are? What's going on just here today?
I'm telling you, that's got to be big for their family. That's where you get all your, you know, that's where they, like I said, you train them up at home and send them out on the road and see how they do. And these boys are making their mom and dad proud today.
And it's hometown here in Las Vegas.
Kyle Busch was offered a development program by Jack Roush to follow in his brother's footsteps. But the younger of the 2 brothers, Kyle, decided to pave his own way, signed instead with Hendrick Motorsports. And right now, he is 2nd. Big brother is 3rd. They are about 4 seconds apart on the racetrack.
See Jeff Gordon in the 24 car clawing his way back from the little incident 1 and 2 with Ryan Newman a few laps ago. He moves into the 4th position, going by Greg Biffle in the 16.
You know, we've talked a lot about how younger drivers are having the opportunity to drive better equipment than ever happened before. Let's take a look at rookies of the year and wins they've had in their rookie season. Of recent, 7 wins, 4 winners, whereas over the first 40 years of the rookie program, only 5 drivers went to victory lane with a total of 6 wins.
Yeah, I mean, just look, Kyle Busch steps into Nextel Cup, his rookie season. He's driving for Hendrick Motorsports. He has Jeff Gordon.
Way to go, buddy. 60 on you, 60 on the leader, 70 behind you.
A lot of information being given to him, information he needs, but he has Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson as his teammate. Travis Quaffle, he steps in, and he's driving for Penske. He has Rusty Wallace and Ryan Newman as his teammate.
Just think about this. Out of that group came 2 champions, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth.
It's a battle right here for 10th. Tony Stewart in the 20 car were riding with Jeff Burton in the 31. Remember, over 100 laps ago, these guys were involved in a pretty huge wreck and a lot of major repairs, especially to Jeff Burton in that 31.
Whoa, that got close. Casey Mears running inside Ryan Newman as Kevin Harvick goes by on the bottom.
Yeah. When Casey got sideways there, it opened the door for Harvick on the bottom, and he took advantage of it.
And Darrell, as we say, I think the racetrack has went away from the 12 car, Ryan Newman. He's went through so many changes, I think.
I think when you saw how he was driving his car off into the turns, it just uses up those tires that much quicker.
But how about Kevin Harvick to rebound on what's going to be a huge penalty for his team they had unapproved parts on the car in qualifying that made it appear as if the fuel tank was full when in fact it had only 4 gallons in it. Harvick was unaware of the modification the team had made in an attempt to find speed. NASCAR caught them. Penalties will be handed out on Tuesday. And Kevin Harvick stepped up and said, look, we need to put this behind us right now. We've got a good car good enough to win the race. We need to go out and try to do just that. He's done his job today.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about all that is, of course, they were trying to, obviously they were deceptive in getting by the rule, but the other thing was they didn't have to do it. They're in the show. I mean, basically in the top 35 in points. They know they're going to be in the race. So that shows you how important they thought qualifying was.
And throw the pit road speeding penalty in, he definitely, I think, will win the award for passing the most cars today.
Jeff Hammond. We'll get back to Jeff in a moment. 17 laps to go. Again, that lap, Kyle Busch quicker than Jimmy Johnson, but only by a few hundredths of a second. Kurt Busch not gaining any ground on his younger brother, whom growing up, Kurt's nickname for Kyle was Shrub. You know, a little bush is a shrub. Well, Kyle now stands several inches taller than his older brother, and he's going to stand pretty tall leaving this racetrack today if he can finish this race in second place.
I noticed they haven't been using that name a lot lately. That was kind of last year when he was in the Busch Series. This year I haven't heard that much.
Guys, we look at this battle right here between Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 32, Jeff Burton in the 31. This is a battle for 12th. But just in front of this battle right here, a car that we have not talked about today. The reason he's not even been in the top 20, Rusty Wallace in the 2 car, his last race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway right now. He's about to break into the top 10.
Jimmy Johnson just had to jump way out of the throttle. He came up trying to lap Scott Wimmer, and Wimmer must not have seen him coming. Jimmy really had to lift coming out of turn 2, and if he looks in his mirror, Kyle Busch is there.
Yeah, Kyle Busch in the 5 running in second gained a lot that time. In fact, he gained half the distance. Now he's only 3/4 of a second behind Jimmy Johnson.
Show you what happened here in turns 1 and 2 as Johnson closed down on Scott Wimmer.
Goes down into turn 1 and running the bottom of the track like he's done all day. Comes up off of the corner, and gee, I think that I'm not sure what happened there.
Wimmer got loose in front
front of Wimmer may have wiggled a little bit, and it took Jimmy by surprise. He checked up for a second.
Everybody says you are the man.
Cheerleading, that cheerleading from the spotter, from the crew chief, keeping that driver pumped up.
I love it, man. You got to encourage that driver, tell him how good he is.
But the point here is that I think no lead is safe. No matter how much of a lead you have, there are other things and other cars around the racetrack that you're never safe.
No, this is one of those racetracks where you can drive down in the corner a little harder than you've been driving in. Thing gets a little loose with you, and you can lose a lot of time.
And Mike, the problem with 12 laps to go as they come to the line, a lot of lap traffic in front of our leader, Jimmy Johnson. Same thing could happen again.
Johnson the leader over Kyle Busch by 1 second. Then it's Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, and Dick, our pole sitter, Ryan Newman, back in 7th.
Yeah, he's really having trouble, Mike. He has radioed the crew and told them that he has his hands full, that the car is all over the place. The last thing we heard him say was it has no grip, simply no grip. Newman looked like a winner for a long time today, but when it really counts at the end of the race, the car is gone.
Dick, I think he just drove the tires off of it. Early there when he was fighting with Jeff Gordon, he was slipping and sliding it around too much and just used the tires up.
Elliott Sadler has just come to pit road, so he will fall off the lead lap. Here's Jeff.
Right now you see Elliott Sadler come down pit road with guys that made a little minor air pressure adjustment on his 38 car. It has come back to haunt him. We talk about how these cars run on such a fine line. He, along with Travis Quaffle, for example, he's getting ready to go down a lap because of a half-pound air pressure put in the right rear. These cars are on the loose side so bad right now they're about to wreck, so they're losing ground. Their day's pretty much over.
Jeff, we knew Elliott Sadler had to be in trouble. He was running in the top 5, and then all of a sudden in less than 25 laps, he was lapped by Jimmy Johnson.
It's always amazing to me, Larry, how critical it is as far as the fine line as we look at the 77 car. Same deal here. This young man was challenging for a top 5 finish and maybe even a win today, but a half-a-pound adjustment right there as we see Kyle Busch go under him and slide it back into the position. But that's how critical and how much on the edge all these cars are set up.
And Jeff, you know, like I do, you're always second guessing yourself. Do I do something and make it better, or do I take the chance of doing something and making it worse? And sometimes it bites you.
Time to go. You get a big lead in third, Kyle. Just take care of your stuff, buddy.
9 laps to go, and that lap Kyle Busch took a 10th off Jimmy Johnson's lead. It's now at 1.2 seconds. Kurt Busch has been unable to gain any ground on little brother. He is 6.4 seconds out of the lead.
And the fastest car on the racetrack, it has been for a few laps. Kevin Harvick in at 29. He's back in 6th. He needs a caution or he's going to run out of laps. We're riding with him here down the backstretch as they'll come to 8 to go next time.
Newman and Mears 7th and 8th place. They're the leading Dodges in this race right now. 14 seconds off the lead, and running side by side, they may well fall into the hands of Matt Kenseth.
And actually, you know, Mears has done a pretty darn good job. We haven't talked much about him all day, but the old Energizer Bunny there just keeps ticking along.
And rounding out the top 10 would be Tony Stewart in the Home Depot Chevy, 16 seconds off the lead, but he's had to overcome some problems with downforce on the front of that car, gotten a couple of straights, not of his making.
And a top 10 finish for Casey Mears in that 41 car, it would be a huge gain because they don't even have a top 20 finish in these first 2 races of 2005.
Now this lap, Kurt Busch was quickest, but he only gained a 1/10 of a second on his brother, and that won't be near enough with 7 laps to go.
Now, those 2 guys in front are driving a little bit defensive right now, just wanting to get it to bring it home, no mistakes.
But look at the water cars in front of Jimmy Johnson, our leader, the 48 car. Kyle Busch, he can reach out now. He can see him, and he's saying, guys, just hold my teammate up just for a little bit, and I'll be there as we got 6 laps to go.
Nose to tail are Jeff Green and Kyle Petty, both on the lead lap, and Mike Wallace. So Johnson's going to have to thread his way through as you see Kyle Busch trying to close in and eat up a 1.3 second lead for Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, this late in the race, you're usually pretty kind to the leader. You know he's there. There's only a few laps to go.
And of course, these guys right here, Mike Wallace, Jeff Green, Kyle Petty, they're all racing for position. 5 to go. And these guys are still side by side and have been for 10 or 12 laps. There you see Kevin Harvick in the 29. We talked about him a while ago. He moves into 5th position by Greg Biffle, but he's 11 seconds behind our leader, Jimmy Johnson.
Nonetheless, great recovery by Kevin Harvick from the woes, self-imposed woes his team has had this weekend.
Now Kyle Busch in the 5, he's encountering the same lap traffic that Jimmy Johnson was encountering.
Yeah, you know, the thing about Harvick and them, they had a great run at Fontana. They come out of here with a great run today. You go home feeling real good about yourself. But now you got to go home and deal with what's going to happen on Tuesday.
And Kyle Busch just got really close with Jeff Green there, exiting the quad oval going into turn number 1. And that will pad Jimmy Johnson's lead. Meanwhile, that side-by-side battling of Mears and Ryan Newman, the pole sitter, has sent Newman back into the clutches of the 17 Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, Newman
battle for 8th there.
Newman's just screaming, how many more laps to go? How many more laps to go, man?
But a lot like Casey Mears, a top 10 finish for Matt Kenseth would be very welcome because his best finish in the first 2 races, 26th at Fontana, could get their season on the right track.
He needed a good day today, and I think overall, you know, overcoming the obstacles they have, if he can get him a good top 10 finish, I think that would be a good day for that team.
Good news from the local hospital. Both the crew members injured earlier, from Tony Stewart's and Mike Bliss's crew, have been released from the local Las Vegas hospital after going there for a checkup. As it's 2 to go for Jimmy Johnson.
Not too far behind these guys right here. I've been watching Mark Martin in the 6 car. He's still out there ticking away, and he has gained 5 positions with that car by going back out there with the engine problem.
You've got a 1.7 second lead.
Jimmy Johnson has had 8 straight finishes of 6th or better, including 4 wins in 2 seconds. This would make it 9, and he's 1 lap away.
Pretty smooth ride. Done a good job all day long. Got himself out front. Where that car had such a huge advantage is on new tires. It was really bad fast for a number of laps on new tires.
Yes, clean racetrack now. Half a lap to go, halfway down the backstretch.
So the House of Roush.
Absolutely rock. I love my job. I love my team. And boy, let's see a victory lane.
The House of Roush becomes a teardown for Hotel Hendrick. Jimmy Johnson brings the Lowe's Chevrolet to the checkered flag. 5 wins in 2 seconds in the last 9 races for Johnson.